Happy Friday. Happy trading. Nothing I'd rather be doing than trading on this Friday. Let's go over the first trade, Walmart. That first trade kind of started the day off bad. What we were looking at is, hey, we were going to judge this as the 200, and we had a elephant bar off of it. As soon as we bought in here on the elephant bar, it went completely and utterly down, and that was our first loss. That kind of killed the momentum for the day early. But if we were to stay with it, let's say we set our stop. It would have stopped us out anyway, but let's say we got in later, maybe right here, and said, hey, tail bar, we could have rode this up. And then we knew we had an area of resistance right here, so we would have got out, left a couple of lots. Looks like it came down, it glided down, and then we got a color change off of a rising 20. We could have got in right here. Let's see what it does. Nope, didn't work. Again, that was an area of resistance right here. So knowing that was an area of resistance, what we could have done is we could have said, hey, 1, 2, 3, area of resistance, sell this bar, let it ride down, get out, let it come back, color change, sell some more. Does it ride down? No, it doesn't. And keep in mind, this oftentimes acts as the 200. What we're really focusing now is we're focusing on, hey, trying to just take the moves off the 200, being concerned about the 200, and then off the 20. So right now we know that the 20 is kind of flat, so we know it's going to go back and forth between these points. What's the chances that it did? That's a tail bar off of a rising 20. That's a playable event. We set the stop, wait for it to get past it, get in here. What does it do? Doesn't really get past it. And then it goes out. So it would have been out pretty much right here. And then again, this is flattish, and we're in that area. And keep in mind, it's 14 now, so we can pretty much look for the trades again off the 20. Let's take that, set the stop, color change, add right there. Remember, this was resistance, this was resistance, this was resistance. A big move into this. This is probably resistance. I'd probably take off majority of our shares, see what it does, and we're out. The rest of our shares. What we tried to do here, we had a elephant bar off the 20, come back, color change, we sold it, we got out, we saw this as previous resistance, got out right there. Looks like we could have held it a little bit longer, but that was pretty much the end of the move right there. The next move we're going to go over is CVX. So CVX, that was after the Walmart at the beginning of the day, which, again, if you look at the Walmart at the beginning of the day, is this the best move we could have got in? There was probably a better move than this that we could have focused on. Let's look. CVX. Nope. Intel. It's better, but not really. Merck. Wrong color. Uber. Uber looks like it would have been the better move, even though into this flat 200 usually doesn't go into our best of scenarios. And Walmart. So it looks like our best move was Uber. But let's go over CVX right now. CVX. At the beginning, we see a tail bar, wrong direction. Again, we could have bought when it got above here and set to stop. Let it ride, let it ride, let it ride, knowing it's in the wrong position, knowing it's going to go down. What we did is we were saying, hey, we're just trying to get a color change off of a position of power. So this bar right here actually was red and color changed here, so we sold into it. And then as soon as we sold into it, it changed colors and went green. Should have got out immediately. We waited some time, and then we got out partially later. And that was our next trade, so we were down for the day with the addition of Walmart. What would have been nice is had we waited, saw this move right here off of the 200. Those are our strongest moves off the 200. Set the stop, let it play out. Tried to gather this whole move right here, and that would have been a great trade. That's just not what we did. It's just not. And even if we wouldn't have gathered the whole trade, we could have tried to gather, let's say, 75% right here from this area right here, which would have been a nice trade in our books. And then if you keep in mind here, what we're doing is, hey, this is going down, this is going up, set to sell. This is going up, this is going down, set to sell. Try to gather those little moves just to get some type of momentum. At this point, although that's not the greatest tail bar, we could look at it as 1, 2, position 3, previous support, tail bar right here. Take that tail bar, ride that up at least to the 20, and then see what it does with the rest of the shares. And it's 11:30. We're really only looking for great moves. $14 comes. What we try to do is we're paying attention to the 200. So we get a move right here. It looks like a color change on this bar. It doesn't look like it after the bar changed colors, but then it rode up. And then this green bar comes up. We see all of this support right here. So we get out the top of that, which is often a hard support to break. So we get out right there. This is a good trade. And then, of course, it gets resistance, resistance, resistance. We don't really play it again, if I'm not mistaken. But you see how that ended up having resistance everywhere in this range. So, and this wasn't really flat. This 200 wasn't really flat, so there's no way to just play it up. Play it up. I mean, you could have, but I just didn't see it at the time. The next one we're going to focus on would be C. So if we look at C, I mean, C looks pretty good if you look at it. Here's the first bar. Nope. The first bar is here. You're looking at, hey, green bar clearing above narrow state. You buy into that. This is, although this looks crisscrossing, it's a narrow crisscross rather than a wide crisscross. So a wide crisscross would be something like that. Narrow crisscross, something like that. So narrow crisscrosses you can play. So we get a narrow crisscross. We get a great position. Buy into that. Set the stop. Goes down. Color change here. You'd add 1, 2, 3. Get out majority of the shares. Leave a share. This right here, topping tail bar, isn't a good sign. Topping tail bar on a 3-finger spread isn't a good sign for it to get to a higher high. So that would have been a reason to just get out of the other share. But let's say we wrote it, and we kind of got the color change here. Set the stop. We would have got kicked out here. As you can tell, here's the green bar. There's how big it was. So 50%, 1/3, 1/3. It went to the last 1/3. So we know it's not going to go up to 100. We know it's not going to go higher. Probably going to go 75%. We get the color change right here. On this color change, 75%, probably get out right about here. And then we get this hard move down. We make the mistake, and here's the mistake we learned again, is we saw an elephant bar off of a 20. Now keep in mind, if we see an elephant bar off a 20 and it's flat, that's not really the sign of an elephant bar off of an inclining. Also, this was a pretty serious red bar right here. So the top of it has the most resistance. And if we got into this elephant bar, we don't really have a lot to move into this resistance. So we didn't feel too confident in this elephant bar anyway, so we didn't take it. And then there was this red bar, and we saw a red bar takeout. As soon as we saw this red bar takeout, we jumped in it, hoping it would go higher. Just a little bit higher. Again, we didn't feel too confident in it. But as soon as we said that, we didn't get out here. We got out a little late, and we got out here. And that was a losing trade. So that was our first 3. If you look at the Walmart, the CVX, and now Citi, first 3 trades are losing, all for, reasons to each his own. Now you're looking at the flat 20. So if you're looking at a flat 20, it's not really playable unless you're playing it back up So do we get distance away? We do get distance away. Do we get a color change? Maybe we get a color change. Is that worth playing it up? I don't know. That just depends on your risk preference. Looks like it worked. Now we like to play off of this flat 200. So let's just take this bar, split it in two, sell that, set the stop. Nope, it didn't work. Try it 2 times. I would have sold it here off of the tail bar. Now the tail bar got extended, set the stop. Nope, not messing with it again. Oh, and look at that. This one is the one that worked off the 200, whereas we tried to play this one a little early. Playing it early is not a good idea. This one would have been playing it late, and the one we tried to play was this. And what we learned, Oliver was saying, like, the torpedo extended isn't the exact same as a tail bar. It's just not. So that's probably not the play. That's not the play. That's not the play. We have a V with an elephant bar. That's the play. Sell into right here. Set to stop. One push. Maybe an add right here. Color change. One push. Two push. Three push. Get majority out. See if it comes back on us. Healthy debate. Color change. Get out. We were waiting for a nice 30%, but then it broke that. And then 50%, one third. It broke the 1/3, it broke the 50, and it broke the other 1/3. So that's a crazy bounce back. But again, this can sometimes be played as the 200, the previous close. So not the boldest of claims right there. Could you have taken off the flat 200 here? You do get a color change here, and then it keeps extending, so I guess you could have set the stop here and got out there. What we ended up doing is we saw this is the move up, this is a glide down, and we saw this is a color change right here. So we were going to set the stop here. We were a little late. We added on the color change, and then we just got out right here to get out, and it went further down on us. Next one we did, we played this one off the previous close. We had a extended extended torpedo. We bought in here. As soon as it touched the 20, we got out. We just didn't see it going any higher. Next one, what we're going to do is Intel. So Intel, we have a flat state, you can erase the 200 because it's not there. 50% buy into it, position 2. You get 1 push. Waiting for the other pushes, and then no. You get out. Nothing on that one. And now this is flat, so we're looking at flat. Probably going to go between these 2 points. Not really worth playing. We saw a play off the 200, so we set our sell and set our stop. If I'm not mistaken, it went down a little bit, then it came back higher, and then it went blazing higher. Nope. It went a little bit higher, and we kind of were out of it, so that was a good way to get out of it. But remember how we were saying, hey, this is going to be flat. It was going to oscillate between these 2 points. It just went a little bit lower. It just happened to be the 200, so we thought we'd play it down. That right there, this tail bar could be confusing because you want to take that off the 200, off the 20, set the stop, but as soon as you would have took that, it went against you. And it's just, overall, this was just going to be flat. That would have been worth taking. That would have been worth taking off the 200. And then that failed. And then you get one more retry off the 200. Probably get out here, new low. It just didn't have enough oomph. Might have took this tail bar off of a 200. That would have been a nice trade to have. New low, take profits. What we tried to do is new low. We thought it would ride back a little bit. Granted, it rode back. Here's the drop. Here's the 50%. Here's the 1/3. Here's the 1/3. It rode back to the 50%. If we got in here, that's a good trade to take it to a new low. We got in late, so we still got a new low and we took profit. So we were profitable, but we just got in late. We didn't see that till late. Now here's a bull 180 right here. And you could say, hey, bull 180, great location. Take that, set the stop, ride that up. Didn't really do it. Didn't know that would work, but it looks like it worked. We ended up taking this. We tried to take off the 200, set the buy here, buy more here, and then we got out here. So we were super late, so we knew it wouldn't give us too much, but we were able to take advantage off the 200. And then let's say you could sell that right there. And we tried to do another buy off of 200, and it didn't work for us. We got out here. We tried to take another buy off of a 200. Or we tried to take a sell on this one. Bull 180. Trying to take something like that. Bull 180, and it went against us immediately, so we got out. So we covered Walmart, we covered CVX, we covered C, we covered Intel. We didn't cover Merck or Uber. So let's look at Merck. Merck, again, that's a confusing bar. That's the wrong color. You wouldn't have took it. You have a Fab 4. Wrong bar. But you do get this. You could say color change right here. Buy into that. 1 push, 2 push. This seems difficult. Let's see what it does. Get out. Or you could just say, hey, it was a distance from the 200. This is the 1 push. This is the 2 push. 3 push, or distance from 200. 1 push. 2 push. Get out. Let one ride. Try to get one on it, but you really couldn't get one on it. Now we have a narrow stay elephant bar. You could set the stop here. Nope, wouldn't work. You could try it again, didn't work. That would be a nice one. Buy into that bar. Sell at that point. Bull 180. 3 finger. Ride that down. Bull 180 on a 200. Ride that down. And then the next one was Uber. Uber. Fab 4. Elephant bar off of it. Wait till it crosses. Buy into it. Set the stop. Ride it up. Get out. Get out mainly because that's a tail bar. This is flat. Expect it to oscillate between these. Looks like this is curving down. This would have been the indicator. Elephant bar within. Set the stop. That would have been a nice one. Had you been able to ride that one, that would have been a nice one. Now we break into it. Color change. Buy that. Ride it. It broke it. You'd probably get out. End of the day. So those are the trades we took. Those are trades we didn't take. A lot of learning on this one. I hope you have a nice one.